Hello, fellow Raiders. It's day 13 of the Best Start Guide. Unlucky for some. As for us, I got the day 13 login reward already, and it looks like we've been pretty lucky. This might actually be the first ancient shard that we've acquired from this mode. Are these speed boots? No, but you know what? We got lucky already. I think I got a second pair of speed boots at some point running. Um, so this is what we got at this point. We got the extra energy today. Right when I got home, it was a celebration. It was my girlfriend's birthday, and you know, I got home. I was feeling good, and I just logged right in without thinking and claimed the 500 energy. So that's why I just burned through the dungeons as quickly as possible. Um, I also collected the next step towards Rathalos, but it occurs to me. Yesterday, I asked the question of, is it going to be possible to do the fusion? And the answer is yes, I think so. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to skip the current event. We skip the summon rush, and instead we just save all of these champions. So I'm just in time to do this. This is a tip that I picked up from Mr. Burrito Slayer. So I think I'll link him down in the description this time. So any newcomers who are not somehow finding my channel through his channel, we're friends. He's a fellow content creator, and he is a deputy in my clan. Um, and he creates great content. He's got a good channel too. Um, and he just put out a video explaining exactly how you can quit out of this without claiming the champion. You just come to here and basically, he says you have to complete a just something that's in the daily quests. I don't even think you have to complete a daily quest. I think basically you just have to complete something. It's not exactly clear exactly how it works. Basically, you hit L. This only works on the PC, but there is actually a way to do it on your phone as well. I won't spoil that one though. If you want to see that one, go check out Mr. Burrito's video. But on the PC, you can hit the L, and it basically makes it so that you don't claim the daily reward. This works on all of the various daily rewards, so it'll work on um, the special new login champions runs the last 7 days, the special limited run for everyone login champions, and let's see, what am I doing here? I'll just pick these three and run campaign. I really want to get these guys to 4 stars as quickly as possible. Actually, hell with it. Let's do some ones. I've talked about this before. Um, Ones in 9.3 are actually just as efficient as ones in 12.3. So we'll do that. But anyway, the plan then, if we're really going to attempt this fusion, the plan is to save the free epic that we get on day 7 of that track. We save the free legendary Rathalos that we get from that track. Uh, I don't really think we're coming into a free champion on the regulars, because the next one is probably going to be the day 30 reward, which is High Katoon, which is another champion to look forward to. But this means we do have one epic and one legendary that we're just kind of holding off on claiming. Normally, if we come back to here, the pop-up should be gone, and it'll move on to the next pop-up. So normally, um, you get 500 points for claiming a legendary, and you get 250 points for claiming an epic, regardless of how you acquire it. You can pull them from a shard, you could pull them from a fusion or from fragments. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the rarity and the affinity. A legendary from the void category, I think, is worth 650 points. But you got to bear in mind that Plarium reserves the right to occasionally screw around with the scores, so it's possible the scores will be different, but it isn't likely. I think it's probably going to be the same. Anyway, I've already claimed all this stuff, so tomorrow I'll prove it. I apologize for this. I wasn't thinking, and I wanted to get through a bunch of energy. I think we probably even have completed the dragon event. We're at least further along in it. Hey, look at that. We've got the fragments from dragon. It's still maybe in the cards that we could try to go for the extra fragments from champion training, but that's really going to depend on who's in our group, and I don't have a lot of faith in that. Normally, for your average player, particularly if you're further along in the game, I'd say unless you're going to open your wallet and drop $1,000 or $10,000 into the game, which I do not advise anyone do, even if you can spare the cash. I mean, unless you're Elon Musk, then go ahead and drop as much money as you want in the game because it does let the rest of us play for free. But I'm still in third place, as I can see from the three there. I'm assuming it's this one tournament, but it can be hard to tell which tournament is live because it might actually be the tag one. But it's champ training we wanted to look at. So with champ training, we've got the fragments already, so we can ease up on this, but we're also trying to do champion training anyway because we do want to get a 6-star Kale. 6-star Kale would unlock a lot of stuff. Yesterday, I showcased that Kale can solo Dragon 7, but I would greatly prefer to be able to solo maybe Dragon 11. And if I could get him to 6, I think that'd be a good investment. If we can get to the point where we're completing Dragon 16, that would be even better. Of course, we've completed Dragon, so I guess it doesn't matter. Now we have to immediately go on to, uh, well, let's check out the dungeon divers because this also needs to be complete. We were kind of doing triple duty by doing champ training with all the food champs in the dragon runs. Uh, the dragon drops themselves toward the tournament, and we were also working towards dungeon divers. And campaign farming will also work towards dungeon divers. It's a little less efficient on loot, but it is probably more efficient on experience. I mean, not probably. It's definitely way more efficient. I think one run of campaign at even 9.3 dropped more experience than 2 dragon runs on Dragon 7. But that's just Dragon 7. If you can do Dragon 20, you get better experience from that. Um, so, you know, there's a little bit of randomness, but generally speaking, campaign is better for that kind of thing. So, we do our typical thing. Today is going to be a pretty typical day. We're going to run our arena fights. I would love it if we could. Well, let's start and see if we can get some easy fights. Also, now that we have the advanced uh, quests, come to think of it, sometimes it pays to come down to advanced first just to see what the energy one is. Win tag against a team with a higher battle. Okay, so or power. You've got a higher power. So we can do that to make sure we get it. So we could go to tag, just look for anything that looks like it's going to be easily beatable, but with a higher power. So maybe I could come in and yeah, there we go. It's 13, they're 14. Perfect. Let's just go in and gimp this team. Okay, if the other two teams lose, doesn't bother me. So maybe tomorrow I'll come back with the notes and I'll have a second section on the fusion itself. Running a fusion on more than one account means you probably want to start taking notes so that you can remember what you've done on which account. We've got some fragments on this account already, for example, but on my main account, I'm going for the fusion. I don't think I've claimed any of the fragments yet. I don't want to keep that all in my head because I'm just not that good at keeping things straight and remembering things, and I'm easily distracted and I will forget things, and that's why it pays to be organized. That's why I have notes like this. I do apologize if this is a little bit small on the screen. I'm looking at it in the edit suite and it appears even smaller to me, but I'm thinking maybe I need another way of showing the notes better. But you know, I'll talk you through it. I'm talking myself through it. This is a good place to be for me. So Yesterday, this is about where we reached. I actually ran a bunch more fights after it ended, and this is what we got. We got 246 gold bars from yesterday. So we could start collecting these champions and slowly working towards the Broadmaw fusion, but I'm more inclined to just go straight for Drexthar. I think Broadmaw is going to be obsolete by the time we get him. It'll take too long. It probably would still take at least a month to get Broadmaw. And I think, honestly, I think Grinner's probably at least as good as Broadmaw. And we also have Shaman. Broadmaw maybe is a little bit better. Maybe. But I think we're probably better off just getting the Drexthar fragments so that maybe by month 3 or 4 we can have a nice legendary who's going to be helpful against just about every boss. So we are going to go for the Drexthar fragments. Maybe we'll be able to get our first one today if we can do really well in the arena. But with the return right now, I'm thinking we probably only get one every other day. That is perfectly fine. If you can only manage to get one Drexthar fragment every other day, it's no big deal, particularly given that it's easy enough to just forget to collect the Drexthar fragments. Is it still in my notes? I put that here at some point. Yeah, here we go. Advanced Dailies Drexthar frags. So we want to make sure we get those Drexthar fragments. Um, so let's do 5 of these. Win or lose, it'll help us move on. And our next goal is to 6-star Kale. We'll also take a look at Faction Wars today, just to see what factions are open up and what we can accomplish there. But I don't know. I'm sitting here. How long have we been recording so far? 12 minutes, and I think I'm already running out of things to say. So this might be a shorter video, but we'll see because we can just continue to hang out and play Raid if you want, and I can just talk about whatever. But let's get started on this one. Um, I can talk about my day. I took my girlfriend out to a restaurant, spent $100 on food that would have cost me $20 to prepare if we'd had it at home. I didn't say this to her, of course, but it's one of those things that you can't really escape that thought, while you're sitting there and you're like, she's having a good time. This this steak is kind of small, and they burned it on the outside and it's undercooked on the inside. The French fries are all right, but they're probably not the healthiest way to eat potatoes. It's just one of those things. I want to ask myself this question. I want to ask other people this question. Like, why are we going out to do something that we could have just as much fun, just sitting at the table, just the two of us. We don't have to wait in line. We have to wait like half an hour for table two. And we could just stay at home. I could just cook the steak. It'd set off the smoke detectors. That's one of the things that happens in our house. We just have a really sensitive smoke detector, or maybe a really dirty oven. I'm not sure. Um, but sometimes people just want to go out. They just want to go out, and you know what? It's a birthday. Birthday girl gets to do what birthday girl wants to do. So let's also finish in the Deadlands. This hopefully will get faster with a 6-star Kale. What I'm thinking is once he's 6-starred, I might create a preset just to force him not to use his big AoE on wave 2. Because if he's strong enough and his Quadra shot can take down a wave, you basically want it to be a little more efficient. Because he will sometimes go for his big acid rain when there's only one guy left. And I find that really annoying. Like, AI, why are you doing that? That's not a good use of our resources. And even though it's just in a given fight, it's not really a big deal. Maybe the fight only takes a couple of extra seconds, but that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. And Arse Goblin was saying something. What's up, Arse Goblin? Yeah, I've been having trouble with auto too. There is something. The last update that Plarium did, they really whiffed something. I don't know what happened. They said that they fixed auto battles in Doom Tower and other areas, and auto battles are not working as well anymore. Uh, if I try to run auto battles and I say quit the first time I lose. I was using this on my other account. I was trying to farm, maybe beyond where I should have tried to farm, and I was dying occasionally, and that would end it. So I made sure to click off stop farming. Uh, if we lose, I'm fine with a loss every now and again. I really just wanted to do the campaign or the champion training at the same time. I was okay with maybe losing a couple of points on Dragon, but it basically would stop whenever you lost, regardless of whether you told it that. And I haven't even tried the gear filter yet, so I don't know how that's working. But I have no idea what they did wrong. I sent in, hopefully they can fix it. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully they're gonna fix whatever they messed up. I mean, just roll it back. It was working before. I don't know what they were talking about. Like Plarium, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, but if you're watching this, it was already working. Or I don't know, maybe make it clear what wasn't working. I'm beginning to wonder whenever you have a company make a change to something, and it isn't really readily apparent how that change benefits the user, it's because it doesn't. It's probably instead of innovation, innovation. Companies will just make changes to things for the sake of changing the thing to make it look like they're still staying on top of things, but really they're trying to lay in some infrastructure so that they can gouge you for more money. I mean, I don't mean to be cynical about Plarium, but I don't think this is a mystery to anyone. I think everybody knows that Plarium is motivated by money. And I'm not, well, I'd say I'm not complaining. I am. But the thing is, this game is what it is because of money. I don't think this game would really exist, and I don't think people would be addicted to it in the same way, or that the game would be designed in the same way if they weren't trying to make money off us. So it's kind of ironic, then, that we get addicted to these games, that we blame the games, but really the addictive nature of the game is what keeps us playing. So who knows? I don't have any answers. Only more questions. So the accessory attempts, I'm going to save that to tomorrow, even though it's just a tiny number of points anyway. We'd just be rolling up one piece of gear to 4, and we got tons of extra gear. But I think I'll just do that on my own time tomorrow when the artifact enhancement drops in 4 hours. In the meantime, I think we've got some keys. We can check out, ooh, and there's another one in 10 minutes, so we might as well use this one now. So this is already complete. Normal, how far have we got? We're at 2.9 mil. One more and we're probably where we want to be. So let's just do one more run. And do we want to try to put anybody else in there? Nah, I'm content with these. So this is a poor affinity for Kale, but it'll be a good affinity for, well, all of the others, as it turns out. Like I said, I do want to get more Force Champions into the main mix. Maybe if I get a couple more books into War Maiden, I'll decide that she's worth putting all of our resources into leveling up. For now, I think Gorlos is maybe a little better. I mean, they both have the same ability, and right now they both have a 75% chance. It's just a question of, do I get enough duplicates of War Maiden that I can fully book her, or do we bite the bullet and book up Gorlos? Because more and more, it's looking like Gorlos might be an essential part of the clan boss. He does have HP burn in his kit. He's got the decreased accuracy. I'm not sure how well that helps. because I think Clan Boss may just straight up ignore um, resistance when he does his single attack. Where is it? I guess it's this one, the A1. Yeah, it can't be resisted anyway, and it's the worst one. So, like, you could try to resist this one. There might be a reason for that. Sometimes you have a comp where you have block debuffs up only a part of the time. So if you could resist the rest of the time, I don't know. I don't know if that's even worth considering, because it's a complicated part of putting together the clan boss team. And right now, we're just focused on making a stronger Kale, so he can last longer, he can do way more damage. And then second might be Rathlos, but it depends, because now, today, as opposed to yesterday, where I said maybe Rathlos would be number 2, now I'm wondering if we're rolling that idea back, because I think I'm going to try to delay collecting Rathalos until the Champion Chase tournament. But we'll see. So it looks like we're going to get close to a mill. That puts us at the top chest. So I'm pretty happy with this. I don't really see us making this in a single key. This might take us 3 keys just to get the warrior chest from here, and we're already getting better than the warrior chest from here. Kind of underscores the importance of paying attention to the chests when you fight clan boss. So whenever you're fighting clan boss, you basically want to defeat the best level you possibly can, where you're also getting the best chest you possibly can. If you can really only get warrior chest from hard, for instance, but you can clear normal, you're actually getting a better chest. You're getting the knight chest, which is 1 level above warrior in it. So we'll probably stick to easy and normal at least until Kale is 6-starred. But once we get him 6-starred, let's try hard. That'll be a good time. Looking forward to that. Hydra, not looking forward to that. Hydra is something else. I remember when Hydra first came out, I could not handle Hydra for the longest time. I now finally have some Hydra teams on my main account. I refuse to do Hydra manually. Hydra manually is awful. I just say, no, I can't. I can't even. I have to do it on auto because I can't stand it. And often I'll leave it running while I sleep because it's a good hour. It can be more than an hour. The Hydra fights, I think, need to get the same treatment as the Demon Lord, right, Plarium? You know, I think it's time to give us instantaneous completions there. Someone in my clan, someone in my in the Discord channel, I mean, mentioned that they're going to keep super raids for this thing here. You know, the 2-time super raids are going to become a permanent feature. I think that's very cool. And honestly, I'd like it if it were more than 2. You know, maybe make it 3 or 4, or maybe just make it all of the remaining energy. And the counterpoint to that, people will say, like, well, what about tournaments? Because then, like, it's just going to be who can ever spend the most. Maybe the tournaments are the problem. You know, maybe these tournaments shouldn't exist. Maybe we should come up with a different way to be playing. Because the tournaments, let's face it, they're not fun. I mean, I'm all in for this fusion for now. We'll see if we can actually do it. And I keep calling it a fusion. Technically, it's a fragment event. The fusions are worse. If the year had started with a fusion, I would not be going for it because the fusions are crazy. We need to stock up on a huge number of potions, which we don't have. But I wouldn't describe doing these tournaments as fun. They are not fun. Leveling stuff manually in the tavern, this isn't fun. This sucks, and I hate it. But it's something that we put up with because it allows us to access the other parts of the game that we do like. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of bullshit that you put up with for a little bit of a reward. And I don't know, maybe that makes us enjoy the reward all the more, but I don't know, sometimes I get pretty frustrated when I finally get into the arena fight and I'm up against a Taras, a Marichka, a Warlord, and 2 other really annoying champions, and I have no hope of winning, and it's just frustrating. And like they're not even knocking me out right away; they're just basically keeping all my guys on cooldown. Annoying as hell. Makes me want to throw my phone across the room and do something better with my life. But then I come back. So it's kind of like an abusive relationship. Say, hey, I'm just trying to be real with you guys. This is this is really something, this game. You know, it's something else. Uh, I'll do that for now. Okay. Anyway, let's do some faction wars. We can also easily craft a resilience item, but that isn't interesting. So we got the undead crypt. We have the lizard man crypts. So I still have some lizard men that we can use. We already did this last time though, so this would be more of the same. We'd just be tossing in, let's say that, just so we can get a little bit more points. Um, can they do stage? They probably can't do stage 2. So we just farm these on auto. I won't bother doing that now. That's something we can do kind of at the end of the day. Let's see how far we can get with undead. So we have him, Grinner. He's like our main man. He's going to be our reviver. And then we could just kind of put in we just put in some food champs. And in fact, let's put in I mean, we might be a bit tougher if we keep in a 4-star. Maybe we're pressing our luck without her. So we'll use her. I hesitated because they're all leveling together in Dragon, and I like for them all to level at the same time rather than me having to swap somebody out when somebody levels up completely. It's easier to swap out 4 champions at once than it is to be swapping them out one at a time and watching each individual set of experience. Um, all right, I had to click on it. I was trying to figure out why we didn't have sound. Anyway, how are we doing on time? So it's 27 minutes in. I mean, I don't want to make the episode too short, but I don't want to make the episode longer than it needs to be either. So the plan for the foreseeable future, there's the fusion. It's kind of interrupted. I'm not even sure where to put it on the list. We might say, I mean, I might even just put it on the bottom. But here we got the clan boss tentative plan. I said this yesterday. Kale, Rathalos, and Gorlos. There's going to be a lot of synergy between Rathalos and Gorlos because Gorlos has the HP burn. Rathalos has all the extra damage he does with the burn. And I said we're going to want Leech from some source, which we don't have right now. But guess what? Zenobia, or whatever her name is, Zeno, I'm completely blanking. It starts with a Z. Or if you're Canadian, which I am, a Z. Move on to this next one. Um, but yeah, the Zenogre. That's what it is. The Zenogre Blade Master. She has Leech in her kit, which is interesting because a number of content creators who've looked at her kit have noted that given that she does more damage as her HP goes down, it might make sense to have her not have Leech. But it's not like the Leech is on the A1. So what I'm thinking is if you really want to capitalize on that, just turn that move off. Just if you're fighting clan boss and you've got an unkillable where you're using, say, Man Eater, and Man Eater puts everybody on unkillable, so everybody's HP drops to 1, basically. Everybody's going to be as low as their HP can possibly get. And you just turn off Zinogre's I think it's her A3 that has the leech. And now she's not going to place it. And you don't need any healing. And that's part of the beauty. You could put everybody in a Fury set, for example. That'd be a brilliant way to make a clan boss team if it's unkillable and everybody's at very low HP. Fury is maybe the best set you could use because as your HP goes down, your damage goes up. There's also another set that does the inverse as your HP is, or maybe it says the enemy's HP is higher. Anyway, these are considerations for when you're building your clan boss team. What are you going to be able to achieve? Are you going to be at low HP most of the time? Are you going to be at high HP most of the time? And then you plan accordingly. If you want to be at max HP, then you use a lot of healing. So far, so good. I think basically as long as Grinner doesn't get overwhelmed, he's he's giving himself 2,000 healing every time he gets a turn. Uh, so we have to see how much damage is coming in. But as long as it hits like, let's see, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for them to hit Grinner. All right, he's maybe gonna take less damage per round than they can put out, so he'll probably be fine. So tentatively, we want Zinogre, Blade Master, as our Leech champion. She also looks like she'll do a ton of damage. She also has Weaken in her kit. So that means we get Weaken, we get decreased defense from Rathalos, and we get the HP burn from Gorlos. We also get decreased defense from Gorlos, come to think of it. So that's two different sources in case Rathalos misses, although he can't miss when hitting a boss. That's actually cooked right into his kit. It cannot be resisted by bosses. So this has all the major debuffs you need, two really good damage dealers. So I would absolutely love to have both on the account. I think it would be amazing. I think Zinogre Blade Master is probably going to be best for early game accounts. It's just this is the hardest time to go for fusion. So can we seriously do this fusion? This is the second episode that I'm going to ask this question on. Can we seriously do it? And I still don't know because we are definitely skipping the current summoning event, and that means we have to complete absolutely everything else unless we get really lucky and we manage to win the training tournament. But the training tournament will also take resources that we may better put towards the other champion training event. Although it's like I said, with the account, early as it is, we need to do champ training anyway. We need a 6-star Arcale. We need to 6-star whoever's going to be after Kale. It may not be RBM. It might be Sun Wukong next. It might be Shield Guard. It might be this guy. Grinner. Maybe I should just start putting Grinner here. I don't know. Why is there a comma here? It might be... who else? War Maiden. We have Diabolist now. Who knows? Diabolist is maybe a low priority for 6-starring. What I like about Diabolist at 6 stars is if you have a banner that's got a lot of speed on it, that's when she can really shine. Because she is fast. She's one of the fastest champions in the game, and she's a rare, so she's easy to build. She's easy to book, but I don't even think she needs to be booked. You basically just want her to go first and do her turn meter manipulation, and that's it. That's her job. She comes into the arena, she makes your party nice and fast. And between her and Sun Wukong, we have a lot of speed cooked into the party already. So I think this could be very slow, though. So I may farm this and I may not. I don't know. They're also putting healing on themselves. That's going to make this take longer. Yikes. Although I think we've got it. But this is probably the maximum level they can do. That's fine. So going down the list right now, I think that's about all we need to cover for today. The Broadmaw Fusion, yesterday I pretty much decided I'm not doing it anymore, so I started just using the various champions as food. I got all of the uncommons for Broadmaw, and that's when I realized just how long it was going to take to get the void rares that we need. Because either we have to get really lucky and pull them from void shards, or we've got to earn them from the arena, and I don't know if they're worth getting from the arena this early when you consider that we could also be going after Rathalos. Not Rathalos. Drexthar Blood Twin. That's what we want to do. So I'm going to take a quick look at everything. I think we've covered everything now, though. The thing is, yesterday, right after signing off, I thought of something, and I hate it when that happens. And I have my notes in front of me, so I shouldn't forget anything. And yet, it's what can frequently happen. So beat 3 faction war stages without losing a champion. All right, that's good. That's good to bear in mind. we'll do a nice easy one. Come to think of it, we could probably just go back to Faction Wars and I mean Lizard Man, can they do it? We could just try to have Saurus. Like, can he make it by himself? I don't know. Let's see. He's not particularly fast and his gear isn't particularly good. Oh, he's not even going first. So this is not a good sign. But if tomorrow we'll beef up his gear and I'll see if he can just quickly solo. I mean, it looks like he's not going to have any trouble getting to the damage. He just needs a little more speed. That'd really speed up these runs too, because I do not feel like sitting here and watching him slowly get his ass beat while he waits for his attack to come. And I think he's just in 6 pieces of attack gear, so we could put him in lifesteal just to make sure he absolutely doesn't go down. We could put him in a counterattack gear, but yeah, I think with slightly better gear he'd be fine. I was also planning on using him as food as well. But I think the best strategy for dealing with faction wars, man, I love his design. Look at those massive claws. But I think the best plan when it comes to faction wars is to have just one champion who's geared well enough that he can clear the first stage so that you're always going to have a good source of those glyphs. Because it's important to have a lot of glyphs. You really feel it if you run out of glyphs. Frequently in the advanced quest tabs, they want you to use glyphs. Create a resilience artifact at the forge. Let's just create a crappy one right now. I don't care about it. It'll just be the lowest level one. And yeah, I mean, it's legendary, but it's still garbage. So I'm just going to sell it. So I think that's it, people. Um, uh, we're 37 minutes into the video. I don't know. You guys can tell me. Were you hoping for just an hour long video where you just kind of do your own thing while I prattle on for an hour, or do you want the videos to be a little bit shorter? I mean, naturally they're gonna be as short as I can stand to make them, because I do want to accomplish certain things while I'm here, but really tedious stuff like this, I can kind of do on my own time. I mean, this is just one eats a one, one eats a one, one eats a one. Just, it'd be nice if Plarium came up with a way to speed this up before we all get carpal tunnel syndrome. You know, there's better things we could be doing with our time, better things we could be doing in this game. Make it so that basically all the tedious farming stuff beyond a certain point, once you've made it clear that you know how it works, and you could continue doing it manually if you want, but now there's like an auto function. I would really like to see that. Anyway, that is all I've got for you today. Tomorrow I'm gonna present a fusion plan. But until then, thanks for stopping by. Take care of yourselves. See you on the next video.